Hello y'all, it's Lucy, paperglitterglue.com, and I just wanted to make a really simple project for today, and this is a Merry Christmas banner. This is one of the versions. I actually, you know, always kind of design extra stuff, but this is the one where the letters have holes in the top so you can just kind of thread them. And I made them in two sizes. I made these out of cardboard. I haven't cut them yet. This is 2 inch and this is about 4 inch, just under 4 inches. And if you want to size it, you can adjust it on your cutting machine. But this is one version of the Merry Christmas banner, and the other version has backing pieces, a larger background piece and this one, and it's just real easy to glue them together, and it sets off the letters beautifully. Let me get that version for you. This is the Merry Christmas one. Is doesn't really fit on the screen, but it took me honestly about 10 minutes to glue all the pieces together for the Merry and the Christmas. And the challenge was cutting them out on my cutting machine. To do the letters, it takes about 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so it'd probably just be 2 sheets if you use 12 by 12 cardstock. And then because it took 7 pages to cut out the background pieces, so I had to use 7 sheets of cardstock for the larger piece and the smaller piece, because I think Merry Christmas has 14 letters and you can only get two to 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I think you could probably get 3 with if you use 12 by 12 cardstock. And I just wanted, like I said, I just wanted to do something really simple. But I also want to, I didn't have time to do other variations, but there are all sorts of things you can do. You can decorate the letters, you can paint them, you can use a white gel pen and kind of draw ornate designs on them. You can make them out of cardboard. That's what my plan is, and those are the ones I'm going to paint. And even the little ones have holes in them. Let me find a little one with holes. A 2-inch sheet. Actually, it didn't cut all the way through, but you can see where the holes are supposed to be. And I just think it would be fun. You could like drape it on the end of a child's bed, things like that. So anyway, that's our very easy craft today. I'm going to show you how to set it up in Cricut Design Space, and then just kind of glue it together. So I hope you have fun, and I will talk to you later. Okay, we are in Cricut Design Space. This is a home screen. You can get to the canvas either by clicking here. Okay, I'm going back to the home screen for a second, or we can click New Project. And the next step we need to do is upload whatever our image file is. I'm going to upload image, browse. This is my Merry Christmas banner file. And in it, you will see there are a bunch of SVGs, and I'm going to try to explain why there's so many. I decided that the 4-inch banner letters were too big. I only decided that after I made them. And then, so I shrunk it down by 50%, and the 2-inch letters are really cute, but they're probably too small. So really, probably you need 3-inch letters, but I'll show you how to change it. So you can size them exactly the way you want. And there are also printable files if you want to see them. The printable files are for the 4-inch letters. In addition, I made some patterns with holes in the letters and some patterns with without the holes. So if you just want the letters and not a background piece, you can do that. Let's just pick one. I'm going to do the 4-inch one. Wait, I'm going to do this Merry Christmas banner. This was kind of my original file, 4-inch file. This is the way it looks. Continue. Image details. So if you want to include this with your Christmas banners or whatever category, you can kind of add it to a collection or add that tag to it. Now we're going to go to the lower right-hand corner, upload, and here's my file. Generally, the first thing I do is kind of shrink it down on the screen just so I can see it. So all that does is shrink it on the screen, not in real life. There at, looks like this is 50%. I can see the entire file. One thing I do on occasion, sort of, but especially with more complicated designs, I actually duplicate it and hide it. So one of my copies of the file is unaltered, it's grouped, and it's just hidden away in case I mess something up. If like accidentally delete everything or resize it wrong. So that's just kind of in the background. Right now, the first thing to use your files is to ungroup. So we go to this layers panel, ungroup, and now each individual letter, each piece is ungrouped. This is my 1-inch scale square. It's hard to say. And you can click on it and see that it says 1 by 1. So we know that's the size the 1-inch scale square is supposed to be. But you can also see it in the size up here in this size button. We can delete it once we know it's the size I want. And each letter is just under 4 inches tall in this version. The banner pieces, if you want to have a background, are actually pretty big, 6 3/4 inches tall. So it takes, I think I think there are 14 letters for Merry Christmas, 5 and 6 is 11 and 3 is 14. Yes, so it'll take like 7 pieces of paper to cut out these background pieces. If you have a 8.5 by 11. If you use a 12 by 12, you can probably get in 1 or 2 more. So you might only use 4 or 5 pieces. All right, now the other thing is I just wanted to show you something I thought was really cool. I didn't do it in my files, but let's take the M. I think it's a pretty letter. Let's take the background, align them. So we'll align it so they are centered. And let's see if we can center on this way. Nope, that. And then just kind of center it. And if you want, if you attach them, what it will do is cut out the letter and the background, so you actually get 2 M's out of it. You get a background piece and the letter M. So I just thought that was kind of neat if you wanted to do that. I'm going to go to a new file just so I can show you the other formats. Upload, browse. Let's see the 4-inch stacked. Sometimes there's a Cricut design space that only allows the design to fit on a 12-inch mat, on 12 by 12 inch space, even though they're all jammed up. And that's what I call the stacked version. So that's with certain Cricut design space updates. So you may see the letters all jumbled like this. You don't have to use them. That's not the way I prefer to use them. But if a Cricut design space makes it hard for you to get the letters, unless I happen to kind of package them this way, then you've got it as an option. All right, let's see the next one. And this version has holes. If you just want the letters to, I don't know why it got all confused, but all the letters are there. Christmas, Merry. So all the letters are here. Let's see, 1 by 1 inch square. The letters are just under 4 inches tall. So that is your other option. And just kind of do the letters however you want. And just, you can be really creative about making your banner. Then in terms of cutting them out, I'll show you the other thing I meant to tell you about is just kind of maximizing. Okay, let's just see how many mats it takes. I'm not saving it at this point. So if I'm doing 8.5 by 11, see how many pieces of paper. It takes about 3 3 8.5 sheets of cardstock or cardboard, whichever you want to do. If you want to paint your letters, use cardboard to cut out these letters. But sometimes you want to do the arranging yourself. And what I do in that case is I get a shape, and I actually like the square, even though I turned it into a rectangle. I like it because it's got sharp angles. It's not rounded. I'm going to click the little size lock. I'm going to unlock it, and I want it to be 11 inches wide. No, I don't. I want it to be 10.5 inches wide because, Cricut Design Space always does a little border, kind of a safety border around the edges, and 8 inches tall. And then we'll arrange it so it's in the back, and we can stack our letters. I don't need this square anymore. I'll delete it. And then we can stack our letters and kind of do them however we want, So if you want to get more letters in, rotate. Sometimes if you arrange things, you can actually put more. I'm going to rotate this one with the rotate option up here, 90. And so I can get all of Mary on one sheet, the word Mary on one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardboard or cardstock. And then once that's done, I just select them and attach them so it will cut it exactly the way I wanted. So I kind of like using a square, a rectangle shape. Whatever the size of your material is, you can make a rectangle or a square and place your own pieces down and just be more precise with it. All right. And in terms, I'm going to hide this. Group them, hide my square, I always move it a little bit away from the border. I just think it helps. It seems like it doesn't cut, or at least my machine doesn't cut quite as well right on the edge. Continue. I'm using my maker. You can use cardstock, heavy cardstock, chipboard. Those are the materials that I've used for this project. Okay, now I'm just going to, quickly put the banner together and just kind of show you just some options you can do to make this a really fun decoration. I forgot to show you how to resize your file in Cricut Design Space. I'm just going to do this real quick. I want my letters to be 3 inches tall. So I'm actually going to draw a shape, and I can drag it to be 3 inches, or I can use the size, and let's make it 3 inches. And let's see, move my shapes out of the way. So that's 3 inches tall. So let's see if we can here's our file. Let's just kind of shrink it so we can see everything's all grouped. So I'm shrinking everything at the same rate. Put our square in the background, move to the back, so I can kind of put my letter over it. And I think that's about right. I think that's about the easiest way to tell the size. So I've got a 3-inch square. My letters sit on the 3-inch square. They're actually just slightly larger, but it's okay. It's still the same. And now I'm going to ungroup my project. I'm going to check my 1-inch square, and it says it's 0.78, so I've reduced it 22%. I've reduced it 22%, and my letters are just over 3 inches, which is fine. That's good enough. Now, when you resize something, if you like it and you want to keep it, be sure you save it. Save that file so that, so the Merry Christmas letter's 3 inches, so you don't have to go through this every single time. All right, that's all. Now we'll make our little banner. Okay, let's just make the easy Merry Christmas banner. This is the background piece and then the decorative piece. I used a shimmer paper here. And the letters. I just thought they're fun, easy. So we don't need a lot of glue. I don't need to do my way over glue situation because we're gluing cardstock to cardstock and it's not structural. I don't have to bend and fold it. So line up the holes on the banner background, letter backgrounds. Easy. And add some glue to whatever your letter is. And you just kind of have to eyeball this. Just center it on your little background. And we have the first one done. So I'm going to go through and get all of these done, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Then we'll use a ribbon or some yarn, and we'll finish our banner. Then I'll show you the letters and kind of give you some ideas on how to use them. Now I have all my letters done. It really took me about maybe 10 minutes to glue them all together, so I've got all my letters. And I just wanted to point out these are kind of plain. You can decorate them much more extensively. I've got some holly leaf patterns on my website. You can add flowers like a poinsettia, just so many things to make them different. And also, if you want, you could enlarge the first letter so for more impact. So let's put them on. Let's experiment with what kind of what we're going to hang them on. So this is a nice thick yarn. It's a pretty green color. Let's just see which way works best and which way they hang better. If we thread it this way or behind, it really ought to hang about the same. Okay, let's see how it looks if we thread it this way. I think I'm going to go with this way. Alrighty, so we'll do the same thing on the E. Yeah, you got to have them lined up and spelled correctly. And remember, you can size them however you like. And I like the shimmer paper. It's just got a kind of a subtle gleam to it. It's not overpowering. I think glitter paper would work really nicely. I'll be honest. I just didn't feel like dealing with glitter paper. I just didn't feel like having everything else, get sparkly. Glitter paper sheds glitter a little bit, not much. But also I got new mats. There. I got new mats and I didn't want them covered with glitter, so I didn't use glitter paper. So that's my Mary. Let me see my ribbon. This one's too thin. It's kind of a nice ribbon. Let's see, I'm going to cut it so it's got a little point to it and it'll go through the holes a little better. These large letters might look good hanging on a mantle, all down a staircase banister. So I like that, but actually I like the green better, the yarn. So because I want to finish my banner, I'm gonna use the green. But I just wanted to show you the ribbon slides through well and holds it. So I'll do this really quickly. Now while I'm threading this, I wanted to say I'm going to cut some of these out and paint them and kind of experiment with like a wood grain, and we'll do that in one of my live events. So we'll kind of practice making the letters look like they've been carved out of wood. Sorry about that. Carved out of wood. And what are some other things? You could cover them with what I call gingerbread paint, where we mix gingerbread spices with paint, and that would it'd be delightful to look at, but also it has a nice scent to it. Gingerbread paint isn't crazy strong; it's really subtle, but it's kind of fun that the paint has a nice scent. So you could cover them with gingerbread paint. You could have kids paint them just in general. Kids like to paint letters, and it's sort of, for a little child, it's like a learning experience. They're seeing the letter, they're feeling the letter. Although truthfully, these are not the most classic. I love fonts, so this is kind of what's called, I think, a Western font. So it's got kind of some ornate figures like those posters from the Old West. For some reason, my cats are not bothering me at this hour, which is really unusual with yarn out here. It's my lucky day. And I'm going to hang this on my wall with what are those command hooks that just kind of hang on the wall. It's really nice because you could just put them up and then you could take them down later. Command hooks. I used them when I made a banner for my Halloween event, the Great Halloween Spectacular. All right, so I'm going to hang these up and then I'll show them to you.